I don't really like this question. I just think it's really hard. I think it's a kind of a weird sentence. Let's see what we can do here, right? Remember, our normal strategy is to follow the QLC method and make sure we don't get tricked by picking a trap answer. We are not being asked to define the word credit. We are being asked to define the word credit as it's being used in the sentence. So we can look there, and we should use kind of the surrounding sentences to maybe help us. A lot of times the SAT repeats itself, and that lets us understand what's being said without actually having to, think about the word itself. I don't know that it helps here that much, though. And some cities have transformed their streets into cycle-path freeways, making giant strides in public health and safety and the sheer livability of their neighborhoods, in the process turning the workaday bicycle into a viable form of mass transit. So a lot of things saying good stuff about mass transit here. Okay. If you credit the demographers, this transit trend has legs. Really weird sentence. The millennials, who reached adulthood around the turn of the century and now outnumber baby boomers, tend to favor cities over suburbs and are far more willing than their parents to ride buses and subways. So the transit trend has legs means basically what this says, that people are taking public transit. They like having, subways and stuff. So what does credit mean here? If you had to guess, you kind of need to know what a demographer is. I mean, I guess it's like a person. I mean, I know what it is, but if you didn't, you hopefully would guess that it's some sort of person, right? I mean, just from the root of the word. People who are saying that this transit trend has legs, if you credit them, I hate this guess. Support is maybe the best you can kind of come up with. Some of these don't make a lot of sense. Endow, that word doesn't really mean that. It means to give. So we wouldn't really make sense putting that back in the sentence here. With the others, maybe by plugging them back into the sentence, you can kind of get somewhere. If you attribute the demographers, well, we normally attribute something to someone, right? So we're attributing what to the demographers, right? Here is almost like a grammatical issue. The word is missing a piece, right? It needs a kind of like two things here. Something that's being attributed and it's being attributed to someone. So something's missing here. It doesn't seem right. Honor is maybe too strong, right? Do we have any other evidence that these people are being honored, that they're supposed to be applauded? That seems too strong. And so I would want some other word to support that. So in a way here, the way that we get choice C is almost because this is so confusing, right? Like there isn't really a whole lot in these lines to go on that helps me understand what they're trying to say. And for that reason, I end up picking this kind of weak word that doesn't need a lot of justification, right? If you believe the demographers, this trend has legs, meaning the demographers, people who study populations and what they're doing, if you give them credit, if you believe what those people are saying, then it's true that more people are taking public transit. Basically, the demographer is the person who's measuring the trends and telling us, the people who don't know anything, what's going on. And if we believe them, then more people are taking public transit, because that's, I guess, what they're measuring and seeing. It's a weird question. I wouldn't worry about it too much. But this is the thing with vocab, is these are supposed to be generally on the easier side. There won't be many like this where we feel like we're struggling. But the process is the same. Stick to the QLC method. Look into the choices and find matching ideas. Try to find some other word that kind of repeats the same thing. If it doesn't happen, like in this case, then when you look through the choices, be careful of things that are too strong, right? We need to justify strong words, and there needs to be something to prove them. And if we don't have anything at all, then we're going to need to settle for some sort of weaker word, something like believe, that doesn't have a lot of juice, doesn't carry a lot of meaning with it. that can help us. So even when things go wrong, there's a way to kind of like deal with that and interpret that as, okay, well, the lack of evidence is evidence of this choice, this weak answer. Hopefully that made sense. If not, don't worry about it. Hard question.